So the NMC CBT has changed as of August 1st. Is it made harder or easier? Are the 1,000 questions still relevant? Hey guys, my name is Nurse Nyamouch. I'm an overseas new graduate working and living in the UK. In this video, we are going to talk about all the changes that the NMC has made to the CBT. Now, I know you guys have been asking lots of questions about CBT and lots of questions about the 1,000 questions. So if you want to know more, stay tuned. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below if you like this video. A couple months back was just one exam, and it was about 120 multiple choice with 4 hours. So you got 240 minutes to write it. So now with the new changes, the new CBT, the NMC has now broken it into two parts. There's a part A and a part B. So the part A is a numerical part where you have 15 questions and you have 30 minutes to write these 15 questions. So the 15 questions they're all kind of math-based questions. So you will get 2 questions based on dosage calculations. So just to make sure you know how to convert the dosages. 2 other questions on the metric system, so just conversions. 4 questions on oral medication. 3 questions on injection medication or preparing injection drugs, and 3 questions fluid infusion. So they'll probably give you a drip rate and you have to calculate how many drops per minute you need, and then 1 question on a fluid balance, which is just kind of writing your ins and outs. So it's just very basic math. This is very new because in the old CBT there wasn't a section dedicated to math. There was math questions that came in here and there, but there wasn't a specific section. So that's part A. Now B is the clinical area 1, which is kind of just like the old CBT and the way they did it before. And this one entails of 100 questions, and you've got 2 hours and 30 minutes to write these 100 questions. And each question is worth about 1 mark. Now, these questions are going to be very generic. 90% of the test on part B is very generic, and then only 10%, which is about 10 questions, is only going to be field specific. So if you're an adult nurse, you're only going to get 10 questions on adult nursing. Same with child nurses, only 10 questions, midwifery, and so on. So only 10% of the test is actually field specific, and then the other 90% is just generic questions. So I don't think it differs too much from the old CBT ways. Changes to that is that NMC, prior to these changes as of August 1st, used to send you an authorization code or email that would, once they've cleared all your documents, that would tell you you are now eligible to write the CBT. Now, Pearson VUE will just email you directly, encouraging you and asking you to go log into their system. And from there on, you will then book your test. Now remember, CBT is one of the tests that you write in your home country before you even come to the UK. So there's no worries about travel or anything. You just go and look for your local Pearson VUE center that's nearby. And that's where you will write your CBT tests. In regards to preparation, there are various documents that are listed on the NMC website that will help you prepare for the CBT test. I will add the description below of all those resources, and that just entails knowing the code, the NMC code, knowing the standards. You also are should read the booklet that they give you, the candidate booklet, and that gives you a little bit more details. Now, Pearson VUE, I didn't really know that they had this for my first test when I first went. However, I've just checked now online, and Pearson VUE actually has practice questions like mock questions that you can use to practice for the CBT. And there's a various amount, and they're broken down into sections. So if you are looking for midwifery questions, there's about 15 to 30 questions that Pearson VUE offers you for both part A and B. If you're looking for adult nursing, they have the same as well. Child nursing, they have the same. Mental health nursing, they also have that. And the learning disability nursing, they also have that. So they have part A, B, practice questions. So we will go through some of these practice questions just so you know where to find them. I will also leave a description below as well. Prices for the CBT, all of it is £83. So the whole CBT costs £83, and you book that through Pearson VUE. If you do fail part A or part B, there's a different price accordingly. So for part A, if you fail part A and you have to redo part A, that's £50 that you have to pay. If you fail part B and you have to redo it, that's £75 or 70, sorry. That's £70 you have to pay if you fail part B. And then if you have to do the whole thing over again, part A and B, it's £83. Questions now on the Pearson VUE website. There is actually 50 practice questions for the clinical part, which is part B. So Pearson VUE allows you to go through that. So we can go through a couple just to see what the questions will be here on screen. And then if you want to go and view all these questions and practice these questions, the link will be down below in the descriptions. So it gives me 50 questions here, and it tells me that I have 75 minutes to complete them. The way the practice questions are is almost as it's going to be the same face and the mock of what the exam would look like. So the way you see the screen should be exactly how you'll see on the exam, where I'll tell you, yeah, it'll be the exact same as the exam. On the exam, you do have the option, and you will get a calculator on the computer. So when you come to the part A where you are doing your calculations, just make sure you use your calculator and double check your work. All right, so the first question, which of the following describes a quantitative method of research? Choose one of the following. Now this is all back from university, so so I guess it's very generic, and again, like, it's just asking general question. The good thing about the Pearson VUE test is that you have the option to flag questions. So if you're not quite sure of your answer, you can select an answer. If you're not quite sure, you can flag that question and come back to it at the end, so that if you do remember by the time you get to the end of the exam, you can always change your question and you can always change your answer. So you can go backwards and forwards as well with the test. So moving on to the next question, it says here, choose 4 themes of the NMC code, and then you just have to choose the answer from there. So again, if you've read the code, very simple, very basic, you know these 4 codes. Next question, when caring for a patient who's Jehovah's Witness, suffering a severe hemorrhage, what do you do? What do you consider? Choose the correct answer. Again, like we've said, these questions, it's just kind of like very general, basic nursing questions. So if you're not aware, Jehovah's Witness are patients who typically don't like to receive blood, or it's against their religion to receive blood. So in this question, it would be they are not to receive blood products. Next one. When caring for a patient who does not speak English, how do you obtain information from the patient? Choose the correct answer. So again, this one is just looking for, make sure you are thinking about best practice standards. Obviously, in reality, sometimes there are cases where you have to use family members. But remember, this is textbook, so you need to choose the best textbook answer, which would be to go and find an interpreter. Even if there's a family member there, you would find an interpreter. We'll do one more, and then we'll do some of the other math questions. So this one is, when a drug error occurs and the patient has been assessed for any harm, which is the next priority? Choose the correct answer. So what would you do in the case of a drug error? And it says here, continue to administer the next dose, call the patient's family, inform the patient of what has happened, and then continue your drug round. So it's just what would you do in this situation? Again, these questions are almost very similar to the first CBT test, where it's kind of very basic questions, nothing too deep, nothing hard, just level play. It's a leveled playing field, just this. So this one, obviously, you just inform the patient, tell them what happened, and then go on from there. So that's what the questions look like. We've only done 5 of 50, so these are really good resources to use. Make sure you go through these questions throughout your studies, and you understand why each question or why each answer is that answer. And then, so let's end this test and go on to the math questions and see what the math ones are like. So the part A, math, the numerical questions, or numeracy, yeah, it's numeracy, my bad. The numeracy questions, it's actually, you get 4 different tests to do. And I'm not sure how many tests are in each, or how many questions are in each, so let's try and find out here. So there's about 15 questions, and there's 4 different tests you can do. And it tells you on the instructions exactly how they want you to round up, and yeah, it tells you. So make sure you read all the instructions before you start the test, just so you know to what decimal place they want you to round up to, because you could have the right answer but you moved it too much and that'll be wrong. So just make sure. And again, 15 questions, you get 30 minutes to do them, so that's roughly 1 question every 2 minutes, really. So, shall we start? Again, you're going to have a calculator in the left-hand corner, so make sure you are using that calculator. If you're not sure of the questions, flag it and come back to it later. So, there's a question here. It gives us a syringe. I'll post a screenshot there, and it says, what is the volume that has been drawn up into the syringe? Select. Please use the correct units and write the answer. So you just have to look at the syringe and how much have you really drawn up. The next one here, it gives you a little cup of oral or liquid medication, and it says, what is the volume that has been dispensed? Again, put it in the correct units that they asked you to do in the very beginning. It looks like about 20 mils in this one. Next question, it says a patient has been prescribed 2 liters of normal saline or sodium chloride. What is the volume in milliliters? So it's just converting from liters to milliliters. The next one is another conversion one. It says a patient has been prescribed 0.6 grams of ibuprofen. What is the dose in milligrams? So you are going to convert that again. Next question, question 5. It says a patient has been prescribed 300 milligrams of phenytonin. Is that how you say it? How many tablets should you administer? This is a drug calculation, doc over stock. So on the picture here, it shows you how much the tablets, the medication comes in. So you're just going to go whatever the doctor has prescribed over what it comes in, and then times the frequency, and that's how you get it. So just your doc over stock. So those are the questions that you are going to be asked. Like I said, in the first CBT, there wasn't lots of math questions, and in this CBT, they really, made a specific part to make sure and to emphasize on the math. So just make sure you know your conversions. Make sure you know, your fluid balance. Make sure you know how to calculate your basic drug doses or your doc overstock or whatever else that you are doing. So make sure you got that all nailed, because it's basic stuff and you got to move on to your, your registration process. So you just got to keep going. Study hard. There's lots of resources out there. In regards to the 1,000 questions, I know lots and lots of you guys have been asking about the 1,000 questions. In regards to the 1,000 questions, I actually just went online today and Googled the 1,000 questions, so you can find them. There's a PDF of them. I will also add the link of that PDF down below in the description. So good luck, guys. See you in the next video.